Welcome in to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty, as today, back home in Palo Alto, we welcome from up north the Oregon Ducks in what was supposed to be our final regular season ranked v ranked game. But for the Ducks, this has not been the season they were hoping for. In fact, they are 5-4, and to this point in the season, they've lost to every ranked team they've faced. But the real nail in the coffin of their season was last week against Bowling Green, 38-34. Bowling Green's quarterback threw 4 touchdowns, and he had a rushing touchdown to boot. And despite having 3 touchdowns for Oregon's quarterback in Morris Duhan, who we faced last year, they really didn't get much from the running game. And that's because they lost Kane Van Rosenberg to a partial PCL tear. They are also going to be missing Terrence Peppers, their star senior outside linebacker, and corner Kerry Crow. That means the Oregon offense will fly as Morris Duhan leads. So far this year, though, he's played a clean game, 25 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 70% complete. He will also be their leading rusher heading into this game. We will see some of RJ Stepnoski, the junior, as well as Dwayne Cheeks, the freshman. But this is a team that is very similar to the Boise State team we just played against, as their leading receiver has actually been their least productive of the starting 3. Their main wideouts are Sidney Landers and Tyquan Chansey. And defensively, the 2 guys to keep an eye on, Bobby Moten at DT, and on the outside, Kiki Osai. So putting the record aside, on paper, these 2 teams are very similar. If our Cardinal want to walk away with the win, they've got to come ready to play. As we are underway, Coleman will take the return down the left side hash, cutting towards the middle. He goes airborne and slammed down at the 18, where Santiago Kerr and the Oregon Duck offense will begin. And I am sure Coach Barrington is wanting to see a far better performance across the board, starting here on defense, as Stepnoski will pick up 5. Coming off the Boise State game last week, it was close. We don't like close games, and if we want to keep a perfect season, we need to pick up some more wins. Landers with the first down. And very similarly to that Boise State game yet again, record does not necessarily dictate how these teams play, as it's a nice spin move there from Duhan. I believe that was James Tuttle flying in to try to provide a big hit. But a little spin move goes for a gain of about 7, and in fact, it'll be a first down as Nathan Henderson jumps early. That's quite rare for Henderson. Rarely has he ever been called with a penalty. Oregon Ducks now to the 41 with a fresh set. As they go Stepnoski, Kiki is there to stop it. Will be a shorter gain, one of their shortest of the drive so far. Going back to him, back to Kiki, this time no gain. Cardinal, they brought the double A-gap blitz, and it pays off. 3rd and 7. Under pressure, getting the ball out, but jarring it free is Tyrone Heggie. That will be a punt forced by the defense. With a pretty strong punt, the offense will be headed out their first possession, starting back at the 13. A couple to watch out for is going to be the matchup of Virgil Rowland and free safety Camelot. We'll see if they look to attack that, and they're looking downfield here. Play 1, finding Rowland. Didn't quite get enough separation to find a touchdown, but picking up about half the field on play 1. It is not advised to leave one-on-one against Virgil Rowland. Cardinal now plus side as they look to hand this one off. Larry Sulai stuffed on the outside. Going back to last year, this was a blowout win for the Stanford Cardinal. I'm sure they would love to see another one of those. As Gordon Draft scrambles here, he slides down with a first down. Now, we have said last week for Boise State, but there was a bye week in between. And that bye week was pretty important for the Stanford Cardinal, as Gordon Draft and several Cardinals were shaken up as that throws off the mark. But one of the biggest changes for the Stanford Cardinal is starting up front right guard Pete Morton. He is new at the starting spot, as they lost Rick Regas last week for the season. Dump off to Vallejo, picking up a few though. Leaves a 3rd and 7. With trips to the right-hand side, ball to the left. And a will go to ball, closing down is the linebacker, a 4th and 3. And Coach Barrington will call a timeout. Coming up with a play here for his offense that gets a hard count. Several players jump, but it looks like they're going to get Gomez shifting early. Try to get cheeky there, get the penalty, keep the drive alive. Instead, Sam Ritter, for a field goal attempt, he'll send it down the middle. Cardinal take a 3-0 lead, closing out their opening drive and sending it back over to the Oregon Ducks, who had a pretty good start to their last drive. Didn't finish well, and a drop on the outside is Kerr. Hard to find yourself leading a team in receiving yards or even catches if you're not catching the ball under pressure and dropping them back to the 5. That might be a semi-favorable spot. Cassius Sampson. Duhan just drifting too far back. 3rd and 19, and under pressure it will be a safety. Nathan Henderson drops him in the end zone. It'll be a 5-point lead for the Stanford Cardinal on Henderson's 10th sack of the season. That'll leave an awkward score line here as we move forward. About 2.5 minutes left here in the first. Gonna be play action. Looking to find a roll and dumping this one short to Kramer, who's maybe back to the line. That is what Coach Barrington loves to do. Following a turnover, look to find a shot. Good coverage down the field. Roland was taken away. So 2nd and 9, under pressure. That ball falls short of ball. The Ducks defense trying to find a quick stand here, giving up that safety. 3rd and 9, hard count. No one jumps across at least. As squeezing that one into a tight window. Gordon Draft just let it rip. It's not too often we get to truly see the arm strength of Gordon Draft, especially on a shorter throw. Gets the Cardinal to midfield with trips going right-hand side. Draft, he's under some pressure, lofts this one, and he misses another drag. That's been a more occurrent issue here his senior season. The 2nd and 10, still at midfield. They will look for ball this time. He finds him. Gonna pick up a gain of about 20 as now Cameron Conklin is shaken up, starting center for the Stanford Cardinal. He appeared to be holding that elbow. We'll see if that's a bigger problem. Barcow, he'll check in for now. So 2 of 3 new starters for the interior for the Stanford Cardinal. As they hand off Larry Sulai, only a gain of 1. Those rushing lanes not quite opening up here early on for the Stanford Cardinal. At the 31, now looking for a sweep. Sulai with a good block from Pete Morton. He gets outside and picks up a Cardinal first down, putting him just outside the red zone. At the 21, and looking again to squeeze it in. It's popped up through the hands and then picked off. Every game that we've seen Gordon Draft out on the field, he's had an interception. That ties him for his total of last year. Just extremely unlucky though. DuVoe, he gets the pick as it went through Virgil Roland's hands. Perhaps if that ball was thrown a split second earlier, it's a more secure catch and not a worry in traffic. Perhaps that tight throw Draft had earlier gave him a little too much confidence. A flag is thrown here on a bang play. I can't agree with that one. But it will be a gift for the Oregon Ducks. DPI on James Tuttle, who seemed to arrive just when the ball did. Stepnoski, though, doing a good job of exaggerating the play, as this one will head to the break. First quarter has come to an end with an awkward scoreline of 5-0. Stanford, of course, on top. Oregon Ducks, they've had a couple good plays, but they're going to need more. As we get the second quarter underway, Kiki slows down Stepnoski, nearly picking up the first down. They can thank Soma Pua for getting them an extra yard or 2. But it is Stepnoski at QB here. With motion, they're going to go with the QB counter, then countering back. It's going to be a stop in the backfield from Schlegel. Defense stands, and it's back over to the offense. So no points off the turnover. And a flag here to open up the Cardinal drive, as it will be encroachment coming from that right end. First and 5 then instead. Another penalty is going to be thrown as now the DT jumps early. So how about that then? Cardinal with a first down, and they haven't even snapped the ball yet this drive. They're at the 45 with a tight look, no hard count this time. Throwing across the middle, it's caught by Gomez, who will get credit with that forward progress. But again, a riskier throw there from Draft, throwing in tight coverage. Single high safety this time for the Ducks. As he looks outside for Gomez, had a step on the linebacker. Ball perhaps came in a little too highly arced. They are down to the 23. Throwing again underneath, Vallejo with a gain of 5. Very few running attempts today for the Stanford Cardinal, though Conklin back in at center. Good news for the Cardinals. Sulai with a spin, he shakes another. He's got the goal to go spot at the 7. And after his first handful of runs didn't go anywhere, now they're opening up a little bit more. As it's going to be play action rolling and throwing into the grass. That one clearly not opening up like they would have liked. Second and goal then at the 7. It's RPO. Larry Sulai, maybe with a gain of 1. But with third and goal, they're at the 6. And Wesovich checks in at running back. He's the power back, true power back here for the Stanford Cardinal. Though they will look to throw under pressure, it's Vallejo who will dive in, avoiding the incoming DB. Stanford would take a 12-point lead here with the point after. Though you have to be curious if they'd go for 2 here with the awkward 11. And it looks like that will be the case here as Coach Barrington keeps the offense on the field for the 2-point try here. Still leaving it a semi-awkward score, and Draft takes an awkward hit from behind. Conklin once again grabbing at that elbow. It will stay 11 for the Cardinal. You gotta feel like most likely Barcal will be coming back in at center. But for now, the defense, they're on the field here. They're looking for another stop. As Stepnoski is denied even the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2. That was the problem that we saw with Oregon last week against Bowling Green, was the lack of a running game. Neither team has had too much of a dominant showing in that category today, as that one is thrown away. 3rd and 12. It will be here for the Oregon Ducks. As Duhan, he's going to have to step up here under pressure. James Tuttle will not get there. He slides down, a gain of about 17 and a first down for the Ducks. To the 32, they will go. Hurry up. We still have about 4 minutes to go here in the quarter. With trips now left-hand side. Duhan, he throws right side. It's broken up by Marcock. Plays being made on every level today for the Stanford Cardinal defense. Pistol set here. Duhan will hand off Stepnoski. Some space on the outside, and he will make it a short distance for 3rd down. They'll need just 2. Keeping with the trips look, though, handing it off. Tracked down from behind, Nathan Henderson. A loss of 1 for the Ducks, and yet another punt forced. And that leaves the Cardinal just under 3 minutes to try to extend their lead, as it will be play action. Going right-hand side, Bargava with a spin move. That'll be about an extra gain of 5 with that move. Up to the 31, where they go with more play action. Rolling right-hand side, throwing downfield, finding ball at the sideline. A pretty quick-hitting play that was a play-action roll, and that does put Gordon Draft over 2,000 yards passing this season. As they are inside plus territory, he's under pressure, getting rid of that one. 2-minute break does hit, and they'll say that the running back was in the area at least. So no intentional grounding. With a spread look, off coverage, and some deep safeties. Getting pressure, and again in the area for Sulai. After a couple quick hitters on the opening plays, not much the last 2. And some tight coverage on the outside with single high safety. Draft sees something he likes, though it does not stay for long. He's going to look to scramble right side, but denied. Will be a loss of 1. The Oregon Ducks will force a punt. And with a minute 15, and they find some big plays. They haven't been able to hit on many consecutive ever since their first drive of the game, but left wide open, Stepnoski on the outside. He's going to pick up half the field. Ducks call their first time out, and they are in plus side at the 44. Big hit there, thanks to their running back. Throw outside, and they've got the seam. Landers to the house. Oregon, after getting shut down the whole first half, they hit on 2 big plays, and that puts them within 4 with the point after. Overall, that drive took 14 seconds, leaving us just under a minute then to try to answer. As Draft, he's going to step up here. He's got some yards to pick up, angling outside, and will get out of bounds. With Coach Barrington using one of the timeouts earlier in the game, that saves them a bit here. Now about 50 seconds. A step downfield is Ball, dropping in and dropping the ball. That's a big miss for the Cardinal on a good throw from Gordon Draft. Leaves the Cardinal still back here at the 37. As they will look to go short then. Finding Roland, he's got the first down and he will scamper out at the 45. He is not just a threat downfield. He has the speed, the route running, he has it all. As we still got 40 seconds here left in the half. Thrown underneath to Gomez, he drops it. But you could argue that's probably a good thing as they would not have had the first down there. 36 seconds left. Oregon, they bring some pressure. It's thrown into a tight gap, broken up. Looked like Ball was trying to find Bargava. Leaves 3rd and 10. Hard count, no one jumps this time. And under pressure, it's a sack down the middle. Malik Dobbins. Coach will let the clock run down to 2 from there, and they call their second timeout. Offense will stay on the field, though, with a 4th and 15. It's Tripp's right-hand side. Roger Roland, lone to the left. They're going to look his way. As the pass comes up short, it is tipped away. And we'll send this one then to halftime. With an 11-7 lead for the Stanford Cardinal. They were mostly dominating this game defensively, outside of 2 plays that went with a 14-second drive for Oregon. They get on the board. Cardinal, they had a field goal followed by a safety and then a touchdown with a failed 2-point try. All in all, the game has been in favor of the Cardinal, but the Ducks, they picked up a little bit of some momentum closing out the first half. But as it will be Cardinal ball to start the second half, can they keep up that momentum? We'll be at the 25 where we get back underway. Larry Sulai with a handoff. Not much space, about 3. But we do see Conklin back out there. He might have been out there to end the half as well. Didn't quite see. But they do get the screen off to Larry Sulai. Barley, he picks up a big block. First down out of bounds. For a large chunk of this game, the running backs for both sides haven't had too much of a say in it. But it seems to be an emphasis to start here for the Cardinal. Pair of runs and the screen go to Sulai. He'll head to the sideline here as Joe Wesovich checks in. 2nd and 8. And Draft, he's going to scramble here to the left-hand side. He's got the first down, sliding down about 15. Cardinal back in plus side. They're at the 46 now. Tripp's left-hand side. They've got Ball to the right-hand side. He missed a big shot to end that first half. Under pressure again, Draft gets rid of it. O-line has left up a few good pass rushers here today. Of course, the Ducks a fair few amount of good rushers themselves as Sulai with space this time puts the spin move on the safety. A big run for the Stanford Cardinal. And that does put him over what he had last week on a few less carries. They're down to the 28. Larry Sulai cuts right-hand side and maybe he's back to the line. They'll say +2. Perhaps might be a slightly favorable call there at home here, Palo Alto. Going back to Sulai, who's going to get outside. Good blocks from the receiver in Virgil Roland inside the 15. You just had to wonder when the time would come, and it seems right now for the first time it's Gordon Draft's formation today. As he will look to keep it, QB power gets slightly off the tackle, but not able to fully escape. He picks up 6, Cardinal inside the 10. Flipping the formation, now Ball in motion. He's going to keep this one with a beautiful lane. And he will scamper in. Cardinal extend that lead. And already up by 10. They will go ahead and settle for the PAT, making this an 18-7 ball game. Match that with a bad decision to return the following kick. Oregon Ducks starting inside the 13 as Blair will chase him down. Big play from the young nose tackle here for the Stanford Cardinal, and of course they're missing one of their nose tackles in Alex Augustine. Blair filling in mighty fine as they go to the same play, opposite side, and lose more. Schlegel and Kevin Salmon are there. It's 3rd and 13. With 2 to the right-hand side plus the tight end. Under pressure, Nathan Henderson with another. He drops the Ducks back at the 3. It's 4th and 21. It feels pretty safe to say that momentum is on the side of the Stanford Cardinal, who will take over at the 48. Oregon at least does get the punt off. They snap it with about 1 second left on the play clock. It's for Kramer, and he couldn't hold on. He bobbled it twice. Good play from the defender to keep with it. Forces a 2nd and 10. They go Larry Sulai, who shakes the nose tackle, then takes a pop from Camelot. That leaves the Cardinal needing a gain of 5 here on 3rd down. Hard count, and they might just have found it there. Emilio Navarre. But it will not quite be enough for the 1st down. They say 3rd and inches, gonna at least make the Cardinal earn this one. With 2 receivers spread either side, it's Draft. He'll hand it off. Sulai, he cuts back right and has about a gain of 1. When you need even less than that, it'll work out for you. 1st and 10 for the Cardinal at the 41. And they're going with the end around ball. Well contained on the outside. That is Kiki Osai. We haven't seen too much from him in this game. He shows up with a big stop there. 2nd and 12. And looking outside, they've got Roland, and Draft misses it again. That's been about 4 or 5 times today. Normally one of the most sure throws you can have. 3rd and 12 then. Throwing outside, and he puts that one on the money for Vallejo. Down to the 21. Just when they think they have him. Cardinal with a 1st down at the 21. They go play action. Stepping up, Draft. He's got some space. He outruns 70 of Oregon, and he brings the Cardinal down to the 9. 1st and goal, what should be the final play here of the 3rd quarter. Hard count, no one jumps. Draft, he's going to leak out again, and he's got a path to the end zone. Cardinal tack on another as they start to pull away here as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. 25-7, Cardinal in front here at home. Can the Ducks find a few more of those 14-second drives? If they do, their defense, they've got to stop Virgil Rowland and Ball, both of which have 8 catches. Ball could have more. He's had a few drops in this game as well. But as the 4th quarter is officially underway here, it's a nice little catch there from Landers, who has the only touchdown today for the Oregon Ducks. And for Morris Duhan, that does give him over 6,000 career passing yards. So a big milestone for Oregon's quarterback. As he's under pressure here, he throws downfield. And what an amazing grab. Hold everything. That was a truly amazing catch. But taking a second look, that right foot appears like it comes down out of bounds. The toes clearly land in, but the heel comes down out of bounds. But the league doesn't seem to agree. They're going to confirm the catch, despite the challenge coming in from Coach Barrington. That's a surprising one, and Duhan's going to scramble coming off of it. They're down to the 30. Oregon perhaps with a lifeline here in the 4th quarter as they go play action. Duhan, he's waiting, escapes outside. He gets by Nathan Henderson, but will eventually give himself up a couple yards short of the 1st down, but they are down to the 22 with a 2nd and 2. A little over 7 minutes to go here. Stepnoski, he's going to motion out. They got 3 options. Left-hand side, leaving one man open. Right-hand side, and Brian Paschal, he's going to hit the deck coming off after that play. And we already mentioned the Cardinal are down a nose tackle. Alakai will step in. They've got a couple young options up front. Throw outside is jarred free by Ty Holly. Don't hear his name called all too often at safety. Jars that one free. They go to Stepnoski, and a big play made by Blair. Cardinal in their double A gap look. They make the play on the run. Throw downfield leaves Marcock. Easy pick for him as he's going to look for a return here. He angles back outside. He gets by the 20, so it's a good return then for the Stanford Cardinal. Up to the 30. Alex Marcock gets another pick on the season, perhaps slamming the door in the face of the Oregon Ducks, after being gifted that catch on the sideline as well. Draft and Sulai in the backfield here for the Cardinal, as it will be a run. Sulai down the middle, ball gets jarred free, and it looks like the Ducks recover. They kick back open that door at the 39. Once again, it's the safety in Duveau. He had the tip pick earlier. Now he has a forced fumble. Oregon with another opportunity, though. Under pressure, Nathan Henderson is a menace. Justice Hayes shaken up here for the Ducks O-line. For Henderson, that is his third sack on the day. We saw one earlier. The safety ended up being his 10th sack on the season, so he's well past that at this point. And he's got another. Cassius Sampson trying to perhaps steal half a sack from him there. That one is entirely Henderson. That forces him into a 3rd and 24. 4-down territory at this point. I mean, you've got to go for it. The 4-man rush. Cassius Sampson, he works his way around the edge with more pressure and a throwaway. But again, Paschal is shaken up on the play. Got to give credit to the big fella trying to fight through that injury. 4th and 24 then for the Ducks. Their last lifeline here. Cassius Sampson gets the pressure. Shaking one is Kerr, but short of the line to gain by about a yard. Cardinal get the stop, but boy, did they make that closer than it needed to be. Larry Sulai still in the backfield here, and they're going to go right back to him. With space outside, he shakes one, and will pick up about 14 in total. Just so happened to be on his 14th carry as well. Cardinal up to the 44 as they're looking to start milking some clock. Another gain of 3. Surprisingly, for Larry Sulai, he's closing in on 100 yards rushing today. He's just had a couple big hitters. As they look to get him outside, he's got another big one here. About a gain of 15. That gives him 106 on the day and a breather here on first down plus side. They're going to hand this one off to Babineau. He'll pick up 2 on the fullback handoff. He'll stay out there with 2nd and 8, though Larry Sulai is back in. And they're going to go right back to him. He shakes one. He's got the first down. The red shirt freshman is rumbling. And I believe that also is his longest run of his career. Cardinals snap that one with 1 second on the play clock. Larry Sulai, he bursts outside. Gain of 8. And a 2-minute break. Cardinal inside the red zone coming off of it, as they're trying to find a late game score here as Larry Sulai lays the boom. Bobby Moten, he's shaken up here for the Oregon D-line, leading them in tackles for a loss this year. Hopefully that is not a big one. Cardinal down to the 11 as they go back to Babineau. He's got 2. You got to wonder, with all these fullback handoffs, are they just trying to work things open for perhaps a triple option? Well, Babineau keeps that one, and he's just back to the line. Cardinal definitely not hungry to find another score, but if they find it, why not? As that play clock is down inside 5. Might be the final play here of the game. Draft keeps it. He flicks it outside. Larry Sulai, he's got the edge, and the Cardinal will tack on one more. Just rubbing it in the face here of the Oregon Ducks. And your final score is 32-7. For the Ducks, they fall to 500, which for them this late in the season has not been the case for quite some time. Gordon Draft, he finishes 226, throwing 3 touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown today. That completion percentage was low. He missed a few amount of throws. He also had a couple drops on the outside today. But overall, it's an emphatic win for the Stanford Cardinal. They continued their perfect season 9-0 with their toughest competition till the postseason now behind them. But that doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that we are done this year. We got Fresno State and Utah coming up the next 2 games. Those two have typically not provided tough competition. But surprisingly, Notre Dame this year, they've bounced back from their really bad year last year. And they've actually jumped up to 22 here in the nation. And so long as they hold that spot, we do have one more ranked team this regular season. It is coming off a 27-24 win over unranked Nebraska. Meanwhile, we are still sitting here at 3, despite Wisconsin being 8-1. You would imagine we would be above them, but apparently not the case. Kansas State is also undefeated. Tennessee is undefeated. And down here we have Marshall also undefeated, though level of competition not the same. And speaking of competition, we are doing pretty well here for the few more 4-star gems that we've come across, including a 3-star gem at kicker, the plan with Jamal Hill. Since we still have Ritter for an extra year after this one, we bring him in. He would be a red shirt for his first year, just so by the time he does actually step up to be our kicker, hopefully that kick power and accuracy would be at a better spot. But our lead on top of the recruiting board is not holding as strong as in previous years. We have Washington and Wisconsin. They are right behind us, about 5 points apiece. Michigan by 6. So as long as we get a few more of those gems recruited, we should be yet again the #1 recruiting class. Coming up next game, we have Fresno State. That'll be on Friday. The little brother, one of our little brothers, got a few of them sitting around here. They're at about 80 across the board. This would be one that I would love to get our seniors, our starters, out of the game pretty early on. Obviously, we've gotten quite a bit banged up in recent games. Ricker Goss, he broke his tailbone. Conklin, he had to leave today's game a fair few amount of times. He seems to be okay heading into this next one. But as for the big man on the other side of the ball, Brian Paschal, he is still a bit banged up heading into this Fresno State game. So perhaps he might not play this game. We have Blair. We know what Blair could do. But maybe we'll get to see a little bit more here from the redshirt freshman and Brian Manuel and Maurice Alakai. But as mentioned, hopefully all of the starters get your rest come second half of that game. That would be fantastic. But we'll see if we are able to get that job done. And you'll see it as long as you hit that bear icon on the bottom right or scroll down and hit that sub button, tapping that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday and Friday. The Road to the Show with Cha-Cha Vaz Tuesday and Thursday. And of course the double headers rounding out the regular season. Will we get that first round bye with the Jaguars? We'll find out on Wednesday. We'll see you guys over there. We'll see you back here as we head slightly on the road to Fresno to face the Bulldogs next time.